Mel Gibson's Braveheart is a sweeping historical epic that, while taking liberties with actual history, remains one of the most emotionally powerful and visually stunning films about rebellion and sacrifice. With its intense battle sequences, strong performances, and unforgettable score, the film continues to resonate with audiences despite historical inaccuracies. While Braveheart is inspired by the real-life Scottish warrior William Wallace, its historical accuracy is questionable at best. Events are dramatized, timelines altered, and characters fictionalized. The film portrays Wallace as a simple farmer turned warrior, but in reality, he is a nobleman. The iconic kilt-wearing Scotsman? Kilts wouldn't appear for centuries. The relationship between Wallace and Princess Isabella is pure Hollywood invention. Despite these inaccuracies, the film captures the spirit of rebellion and the struggle for Scottish independence, which is why it remains beloved. The battle scenes in Braveheart are some of the most visceral ever put on screen. The Battle of Stirling Bridge, minus the actual bridge, is a masterclass in medieval warfare, with chaotic hand-to-hand combat, blood-soaked clashes, and raw brutality. Unlike many Hollywood films that sanitize violence, Braveheart revels in the dirt, sweat, and gore of war. The film's use of slow motion, pounding war drums, and strategic battle tactics make these scenes unforgettable. Mel Gibson delivers one of his most iconic performances as William Wallace, balancing charisma, rage, and heartbreak. His Wallace is both a warrior and a tragic figure, driven by vengeance and an unshakable belief in freedom. Patrick McGoohan, as King Edward I, Longshanks, is delightfully ruthless, stealing every scene he's in. His cold, calculated tyranny makes him one of cinema's great villains. Sophie Marceau, Princess Isabella, and Angus MacFadyen, Robert the Bruce, add depth, though their arcs are sometimes overshadowed by Wallace's journey. Betrayal runs deep in Braveheart, from the Scottish nobles siding with the English for their own gain to Robert the Bruce's devastating betrayal of Wallace at Falkirk. The film hammers home the idea that the real enemy isn't just England, but corruption within Scotland itself. The moment Wallace is captured due to the treachery of nobles is gut-wrenching, making his execution all the more tragic. Edward I is portrayed as an absolute tyrant, ruthless, cunning, and utterly merciless. From his policy of prima nocta, which, historically, is likely a myth, to his cold dismissal of his own son, he is a villain without redemption. Patrick McGoohan's performance ensures that every line drips with malice, making Longshanks one of the most despicable rulers in film history. James Horner's score is nothing short of legendary. The sweeping bagpipes, mournful strings, and soaring orchestral pieces perfectly capture the grandeur and tragedy of the story. Tracks like For the Love of a Princess and Freedom, the execution elevate key moments, making them even more emotionally impactful. Even today, the Braveheart soundtrack remains one of the most recognizable in film history. They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom. Wallace's rallying cry before battle is one of cinema's most famous lines. It embodies the spirit of resistance and has been quoted, parodied, and referenced countless times. The speech itself is one of the greatest cinematic moments of all time, an electrifying blend of patriotism, desperation, and sheer defiance. Despite its historical inaccuracies, Braveheart remains a powerful and emotional film. The themes of freedom, sacrifice, and fighting against oppression are timeless. However, modern audiences may view some elements, such as the exaggerated villainy of Longshanks or the romanticized portrayal of Wallace, with a more critical eye. Still, the film's epic scope, unforgettable performances, and stirring music ensure it continues to be a classic. Braveheart may not be perfect history, but it's perfect storytelling. Its battles, betrayals, and bold heroics make it an enduring epic that still stirs the heart nearly 30 years later.